Welcome to the English Time Daily channel. In today's episode, we're going to help you improve your English listening and speaking skills with a real-life topic: ordering food at a restaurant like a native speaker. Listening to stories like these will not only boost your understanding, but also help you feel more confident. When it's your turn to order in English, we upload new videos regularly to help you improve your English every day. So don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more practice. Let's start with a story that many of us can relate to. Imagine you're at a restaurant and you're ready to order. But there's a little problem. You're not sure how to speak. Like a native speaker. Don't worry. I've been there. It's normal to feel unsure when you're learning a new language, especially when it comes to ordering food in a restaurant. One day, my friend Daniel and I were walking around the city when we decided to grab a quick bite to eat. We found a cozy little restaurant, and as we walked in, I could see Daniel looking a little nervous. It wasn't because he didn't know what to order. It was because he wanted to make sure he sounded natural. In English, Daniel, I always feel a little unsure. When ordering, what if they don't understand me? What if I say the wrong thing, Emma? I totally get it. Daniel, I used to feel the same way. But you know what? The more we practice, the easier it gets. People don't expect you to be perfect. They just want to understand you. Daniel took a deep breath and nodded. We walked up to the counter and the cashier smiled at us. Cashier, hi, how can I help you today, Daniel? I'll have a chicken sandwich and a cola, please, cashier. Sure do. You want fries with that, Daniel? Yes, please. After Daniel ordered, he turned to me. With a relieved smile, he was feeling more confident. Already. But I knew that we could still make this situation even smoother. Emma, see, that wasn't so bad, right? But let's make sure we're using some native phrases so you sound even more natural. Next time. Daniel? What do you mean? I thought I did okay, Emma? You did great. But native speakers often use phrases like I'll have instead of just saying I want. It sounds a little more polite. For example, instead of saying I want a chicken sandwich, you could say I'll have a chicken sandwich, Daniel. Oh, I see. I didn't know that. What about the part when they ask if I want fries? Emma, good question. When someone asks if you want fries, you can simply say, yes, I'll have fries, or yes, please. It's a polite and simple response. As we sat down at our table, I started thinking about how ordering food in English is such an important skill for daily life. It's something we do all the time, but it's also a great opportunity to practice speaking. Naturally, Emma, ordering food isn't just about the food itself. It's about communication. When you can confidently order, you're practicing how to use polite phrases, how to make requests, and how to follow conversations. Daniel. That's so true. It's not just about food. It's about making connections with people, even if it's just a short interaction. We continued chatting while enjoying our food. It wasn't long before we saw another person walk into the restaurant this time. It was a man named David. He looked a little lost. As he stared at the menu on the wall, I could see that he was having trouble figuring out what to order, and he was looking at his phone, probably translating words. Emma, it looks like David might need some help. Want to go over and talk to him, Daniel? Sure, let's help him out. We walked over to David, and I could tell he was relieved to see us. David. Hi, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure how to order. I don't speak English very well. Emma. No problem, David. We've all been there. Ordering food in English can be tricky at first, but once you know the basics, it's easy. The first thing you need to know is how to act. Ask for what you want, Daniel. That's right. When you're ready to order, just say, I'll have, or I'd like. For example, I'll have a burger and fries. Or I'd like a salad with no dressing. David, I see. That's much easier than I thought, Emma. Exactly. And don't forget, you can always ask for recommendations if you're unsure about what to order. You can say, what do you recommend? That way, you'll sound more natural and the staff will know you're interested in what they suggest. Daniel, and if you're not sure about something on the menu, it's okay to ask questions. For example, what's in this dish? Or is this spicy? It's totally fine to ask for clarification. David nodded. looking more confident with each sentence. David, I think I can do this now. I'll give it a try. David walked up to the counter, and we watched as he confidently ordered his food. A few minutes later, he returned with a big smile. David, I did it. I said I'll have a cheeseburger and fries. And they understood me perfectly. Emma, that's amazing. See, it's not as difficult as it seems once you know the right phrases, Daniel. Exactly. And the more you practice, the easier it gets. The key is to start small and keep going. We sat back down, feeling good about helping David. It felt great to see him overcome his fear of ordering in English. Emma, it's always nice to help others with something we've learned ourselves, and the best part is now David has the confidence to order food anywhere in English. Daniel, and it's such a practical skill everyone has to eat, so why not practice English while doing it? Emma, exactly. Plus, every time you order food, you get a chance to practice new phrases and improve your speaking skills. As we finished our meal, I felt a sense of pride. I had just helped someone, and I knew that the next time I ordered food, it would be even easier. Emma, one thing I always keep in mind when ordering food is to stay calm and confident. People appreciate when you make an effort to speak their language, even if you're not perfect. And remember, the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Daniel, exactly. And we're all learning. Every time we speak, we get better as NE. We stepped outside the restaurant. The warm evening breeze made the whole experience feel even more enjoyable. Daniel, David, and I stood near the entrance, still talking about how small conversations like ordering food can really help in learning English. David, I feel so much better now. I used to avoid ordering food because I was afraid of making mistakes, but now I know what to say. Emma, that's the spirit. The biggest mistake is being too afraid to try. Noon expects you to speak perfectly. What matters is that you communicate clearly and politely. Daniel nodded in agreement. Daniel, that reminds me of my first time ordering food in English. I was traveling and I went into a cafe by myself. I felt nervous because I wasn't sure how to ask for what he wanted. When the waiter came, I panicked and just pointed at the menu. Emma, oh no. What happened, Daniel? Luckily, the waiter was really nice. He asked, would you like anything else? That's when I realized I should at least try to speak. So I took a deep breath and said, I'll have a coffee, please. It wasn't perfect, but he understood me, David. That's a great example. Sometimes we just have to be brave and cry. The important thing is to keep learning from each experience. I smiled, thinking about how many learners feel the same way when they try to order food in English. It's a common situation, but it's also a great way to practice. Emma, you know, one thing that helps is listening carefully to what the cashier or waiter says. They often ask the same types of questions. For example, would you like that for here, or to go, or do you want anything else with that? If you're familiar with these phrases, it becomes much easier to respond. Daniel, that's true. And sometimes they might ask about sizes, like small, medium, or large, or whether you want your drink with ice. If you know these questions in advance, you don't have to feel nervous when answering. David, that makes sense. So if I go to a restaurant, I should be prepared for these common questions. What if I don't understand something they say? Emma, good question. If you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask them to repeat. You can say, could you say that again, please, or sorry, I didn't catch that. That way they know you're trying and they'll usually repeat it more slowly. David nodded, looking more confident now. David, I like that. Instead of pretending I understand, I can just ask them to repeat it. That's much better, Daniel, exactly. And if you need more time, you can also say, give me a moment, please, that way. You don't feel rough when making your order. We kept walking down the street, passing by small cafes and food stands. The city was lively with people chatting, eating, and enjoying their meals. Seeing all the different restaurants reminded me of another helpful tip for ordering food: checking the Emma. You know what else helps looking at the menu before you order? Many restaurants have their menus outside or online. If you read it before ordering, you won't feel rushed. And you can practice saying your order in your head. David, that's a great idea. I always feel nervous when there are people waiting behind me in line. If I already know what I want, I won't feel pressured to decide. Quickly, Daniel. Yeah, and sometimes menus use words we don't know if we check in advance. We can learn new vocabulary before ordering. Emma, exactly. And speaking of vocabulary, let's go over some useful words and phrases for ordering food. What are some good phrases to use? When asking about food options, David, maybe what do you recommend or what's popular here, Emma's? Those are great if you're not sure what to order. Asking for recommendations is a great way to start a conversation with the staff. And if you have dietary restrictions, you can ask things like, does this have nuts? Or is this dish vegetarian? Daniel? Oh, I have another one. If you don't like a certain ingredient, you can say, can I get this without onions? Or could you leave out the cheese that way? They know exactly how to prepare your meal. David, that's really useful. I don't eat spicy food, so I could ask, is this spicy before ordering? Emma, yes. That's a great way to make sure you get a meal you'll enjoy. And once you're ready to order, just say, I'd like, or I'll have. Those phrases sound natural and polite, Daniel. And if you're ordering drinks, you might hear, would you like ice in that? Or, would you like still? Or sparkling water? It's good to be ready for those questions. David, wow, I never realized how many little things go into ordering food. But now I feel much more prepared. We stopped in front of a small bakery where a few people were standing in line. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. Emma, this is a perfect place to practice. Let's go in and order something. David, do you want to try first? David took a deep breath and nodded. We walked inside and he looked at the menu for armament when the cashier greeted us. David smiled and spoke confidently. Cashier. Hi, what can I get for you today? David, I'll have a croissant. And a cup of coffee, please, cashier. Would you like milk or sugar with your coffee? David hesitated for just a second, but then he responded naturally. David, yes, I'd like some milk, please. The cashier nodded and rang up his order. A few minutes later, David was holding his food, looking proud of himself. David, that was so much easier then. Before I didn't feel nervous at all. Emma, that's because you knew exactly what to say, you practiced, and now you sound like a native speaker. Daniel, and the best part is, every time you order, you'll get even better at it. Soon, it'll feel completely natural. David took a bite of his croissant and smiled. David, you know what? I actually enjoyed that ordering food isn't just about getting a meal. It's a great way to practice English in real life. I nodded, feeling happy that David had gained so much confidence. Emma, that's the key. Every small conversation is a step toward fluency, and the best way to learn is by doing. We sat down at a nearby table, enjoying our snacks and talking about all the different ways we could keep practicing. The more we spoke, the more natural it felt. I realized that ordering food wasn't just a daily task. It was an opportunity to grow as a language learner. As we sat at the table, sipping our drinks and enjoying our snacks, the conversation continued. The more we talked, the more we realized how much confidence we had gained just by practicing a simple skill, like ordering food. David, you know, I never thought about it this way before, but ordering food is actually a great way to meet new people. You get to interact with cashiers, ERs, and even other customers while waiting in line. Emma, that's a great point. It's not just about ordering food, but also about making small talk sometimes. The cashier might ask, how's your day going, or is this your first time here? These are great opportunities to practice friendly conversation. Daniel? Yeah. And if you want to be polite and friendly, you can respond with something simple like, I'm doing well, thanks, how about you? Or yes, it's my first time here. What do you recommend that keeps the conversation going? David, that makes sense. I used to just say my order and stay silent, but now I see that talking a little more can make the experience more enjoyable, and it helps improve my English too. Emma, exactly. And this isn't just useful in restaurants. You can use these skills in cafes, bakeries, coffee shops, or even street food stalls. The more you practice, the easier it gets as we continued talking. I remembered another important part of ordering food: paying and thanking the staff. Emma. Okay, now let's talk about how to pay and end the conversation politely. After ordering, the cashier might say something like, "That'll be $10, please," or "Your total is $1,250. What should you say next, David? I guess I could just give them the money. Right, Daniel? Yes. But it's always polite to say something like, "Here you go." Or, "Can I pay by card?" if you're using a card, and if they ask, "Would you like a receipt?" you can say yes, please, or no. Thank you. Emma, that's right. And at the end, always remember to say thank you. Or "Have a great day." Being polite makes the interaction more pleasant for everyone. David, got it. So after I pay, I should always thank them. That's easy enough to remember, Daniel. Yes. And if they say, "Enjoy your meal," you can reply with "Thanks, you too." It's a small detail, but it makes you sound more natural as we continued talking. I thought about another important situation. What to do if something goes wrong with your order, Emma. Let's say you order something, but when it arrives, it's not what you expected, maybe you asked for. No onions, but your burger has onions. What would you do, David? Oh, that's a tricky one. I wouldn't want to be rude, Daniel. That's true? But it's okay. Politely ask for a correction. You can say, "Excuse me. I think there's a mistake with my order. I asked for no onions." If you say it in a friendly way, the staff will be happy to fix it. Emma, yes, and if you received the wrong drink, you can say, "Sorry, but I think this is the wrong order. I asked for a tea, but this is coffee." It's always best to stay calm and polite. David, that's a good idea. I used to just accept whatever I got because I was too nervous to say anything, but now I know how to ask for changes in a respectful way, Daniel. And if you're in a rush, you can say, "Is there any way to fix this?" Quickly, that lets them know you need a fast solution. We all agreed that knowing how to politely correct an order was an important skill. Then another thought came to my mind: what if you want to take food home? Emma, now let's talk about takeout. What if you want to take your food with you instead of eating at the restaurant? David. Oh, I know this one. I can say, "Can I get this to go?" or "I'd like this for takeaway," Daniel. That's right. And if you already finished your meal, but want to take the leftovers home, you can ask, "Could I get a box for this?" or "Can I take this to go, Emma?" Yes, many restaurants will happily pack up your food if you ask politely. And if you're ordering food for delivery, you might hear questions like, "What's your address?" or "Would you like any napkins or utensils?" Knowing these phrases makes everything easier. As we talked, I could see how much more confident David and Daniel had become about ordering food. The more we PR practiced, the more natural it all felt, David. Wow, I feel like I've learned so much now. I'm actually excited to go to a restaurant and try all of this in real life. Daniel, me too. It's amazing how something simple, like ordering food, can actually help improve my English. So much, Emma. That's the best part of learning English. You can practice it in everyday life. The more you use it, the better you get. David, No. I just realized something. Every time we go out to eat or order food, it's like a mini English lesson. We practice real conversations, and we also learn new words and phrases. Daniel, exactly. And when you practice things like ordering food, you're also learning important social skills, like how to be polite and how to make small talk. With strangers, it all helps you sound more natural when speaking English. Emma, right? It's not just about ordering food, but also about being confident in using English for real situations. For example, if you're traveling or meeting new people, you can use these same phrases and feel comfortable, David. And now that we've talked about how to order, what about those situations where you need to ask for recommendations or special requests? Daniel. Great point. If you're ATA, restaurant, and want to know what's popular, you can ask the waiter, what do you recommend or what's your special today? It shows you're interested and it gives you a chance to learn about new dishes. Emma, exactly. And if you have any dietary restrictions or preferences, you can let the server know by saying, I'm vegetarian. Do you have any vegetarian options, or I'm allergic to nuts? Can you make sure my food doesn't contain? Any David? I know Daniel. It's all about using the right words in the right situation. And don't forget about asking for refills or extra condiments. You can say, could I get some ketchup, please? Or can I have more water? It sounds so natural and polite. Emma? And if you want to ask about something you don't understand on the menu, it's helpful to say, what's this dish? Can you explain it to me? Or what's in this salad? People appreciate when you ask for help. Politely, David, this is such useful stuff. I feel like I'm ready for any restaurant situation now. Just practicing these things can really make me feel more comfortable speaking English, Daniel. It's all about practice. The more you practice these phrases, the more confident you'll feel. And remember, even if you make a mistake, it's okay. The goal is to keep trying and to learn from each experience. Emma, that's the key. We all start somewhere, and by practicing little things like ordering food, you'll see improvement in your English every day. David, I can see how all these little steps add up. It's not just about learning words. It's about understanding the culture, how people communicate in everyday situations, and how we can use English to make our lives easier. Daniel, exactly. You'll notice that after a while, ordering food will feel like second nature. It won't be scary anymore, and you'll be able to enjoy the experience more. Emma, and let's not forget about the importance of listening. When you're at a restaurant, sometimes the server might explain something to you, and it's important to listen carefully if you're unsure. Don't be afraid to ask them to repeat or clarify. You could say, sorry, could you repeat that? Or, I didn't quite understand. Can you explain that again, David? That's true. I think that's one area where I struggle. Sometimes listening, but now that I know, it's okay to ask for clarification. I won't feel as nervous. Daniel, exactly, asking for help shows that you're engaged and willing to learn, and that makes the experience better for everyone. Emma, another thing that helps is trying to pick up the accent or tone that the waiter or server uses sometimes. If you repeat what they say in a similar way, it helps you sound more natural. For example, if they say, would you like anything else? You can say, no, thank you. That's all, David. I never thought about mimicking their tone. That's an interesting way to sound more fluent, Daniel. It's all about blending in with the conversation, and by using polite and friendly language, you make it easier for everyone to understand. Each other, Emma. Now let's talk about one more thing. Paying the bill when it's time to leave. You'll need to ask for the check. You can say, can I get the check, please, or could I have the bill? David? I always wondered what the polite way to ask for the check was. I've heard both check and bill, Emma. Yes, both are fine, but check is more common in American English, while bill is often used in British English. It's good to know both, depending on where you are, Daniel, and when you're paying. It's polite to say, thank you, have a good day. It's a small thing, but it leaves a good impression, David. It really does. I feel like I've learned so much in just this conversation. I'm ready to go out and try these phrases at a restaurant. Emma, I'm glad to hear that. Remember them, or you practice the more natural it will feel, and soon ordering food at a restaurant will just be another everyday task you do in English. David, absolutely. It's amazing how something so simple can help me practice my English and feel more confident in real-life situations. Daniel, exactly. Keep practicing and you'll get better and better. English isn't just for the classroom, it's for everyday life. And by using it in places like restaurants, you'll improve without even realizing it. Emma, exactly. So whether you're at a cafe, a fast food place, or a fancy restaurant, remember to stay calm, be polite, and enjoy the process. The more you practice, the better you'll get at ordering food. Like a native speaker, as we finished talking, we all felt ready to take on the world of ordering food in English, knowing we could use what we learned in real life. David, now that we've covered all the basics, I feel like I can confidently order at a restaurant in English no matter where I am. The key is to remember the phrases we've discussed. And practice them often, Emma, that's right. The more you repeat these phrases in different situations, the more natural they'll become. It's just like learning anything new. It takes time and practice. But you'll get there, Daniel. Exactly. And when you're practicing, try to use the phrases in different ways. For example, instead of always saying, "I'll have the pasta," you can mix it up by saying, "I'd like the pasta, please." Or, "I'll take the pasta today. It's good to keep it varied." David, oh, that's a good point. Changing up how you say things can make it sound more natural and less like you're just repeating memorized lines. Emma, and don't be afraid to try new things at the restaurant. If you see a dish you've never had before, ask the server about it. You can say, "What's this dish like?" Or, "How is it prepared?" That gives you the chance to learn something new while practicing your English. Daniel, I like that. It's also a great way to sound more engaged in the conversation, and if you're ever in doubt about the pronunciation of something on the menu, just ask the waiter or waitress how to say it correctly. They'll usually be happy to help. David, that's a great tip. Sometimes I see a dish on the menu and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so I just skip it. But now I feel more confident asking for help, Emma. Exactly. And don't forget that ordering food isn't just about the food itself. It's about interacting with others, practicing social skills, and building confidence in using English in real-life situations. Every time you order, you're practicing English without even realizing it. David, that's such a good point. I've never thought of it like that, I guess. Each time I order at a restaurant, I'm not just filling my stomach, but also improving my English, Daniel. That's the beauty of it. Real-world situations like ordering food provide a chance to practice English naturally. You get to learn phrases that native speakers use, and you get immediate feedback from the people you interact with, Emma. And even if you make a mistake, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, and the more you practice, the less you'll make them. Plus, it's part of the learning process. So don't stress about it, David. True, it's all part of the journey, and as we've talked about, there are so many different situations at a restaurant where you can practice asking for a recommendation, ordering drinks, asking for the bill, and even making small talk with the staff, Emma. Exactly. And remember, English is about communication, not perfection. It's about getting your message across, even if you make a few mistakes along the way. The more you practice, the easier it will get, Daniel. And it's also about being polite. Using phrases like "please," "thank you," and "excuse me" will make a big difference. People appreciate kindness, and it also makes the conversation flow more smoothly. David, I think that's the key. Being polite and confident can make any restaurant experience better. And the more confident we are with our English, the more we'll enjoy these everyday situations. Emma, that's right. Every time you go out to eat, or even order takeout, remember that it's a chance to practice over time. These conversations will feel effortless, Daniel, and let's not forget about ordering online too. You can apply the sesame phrases when ordering food through an app or website. The process is the same: choosing what you want, confirming your order, and sometimes asking for specific requests. David, oh, I never thought about ordering food online in the same way, but you're right. Even when I use an app to order, I'm still practicing my English and using the same phrases to make sure everything goes smoothly. Emma? Exactly. And don't forget about practicing with others. If you have a friend who's learning English, you can practice ordering together. You can role play as the waiter and the customer. It's a fun and effective way to build your confidence, Daniel. That's a great idea. Practicing with someone else makes it more fun. And it can help you get comfortable with the conversation, plus you can give each other feedback and help each other improve. David, yeah, I think I'll try that next time. It'll be a good way to keep practicing and make it more enjoyable. Emma, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make. And before you know it, you'll be ordering like a pro. Whether you're at a restaurant, ordering takeout, or even traveling to another country, Daniel. And remember, it's all about the small wins each time you practice. You're one step closer to speaking English more naturally and confidently in real-life situations.